if I could only have one lens, this would be it. The Canon 32mm f1.4 for EFM. This lens is something special, but not just because of the optics on their own. It's because this is the best lens that EFM ever got. And what Canon did with EFM was a tragedy. It was released in 2012 with the original EOS M, only to be last updated in 2020 with the M50 Mark II. 8 years and 9 lenses is all the system ever got. And if you ask most people, EFM is obsolete in 2025. And R50 is more capable and gets you access to the latest and greatest lenses. However, being as unpopular as it is, this leaves a large price gap that allows you to build an extremely solid camera for less than $1,000. This leads us to the Canon M6 Mark II, a fantastic camera in 2019 and one that still holds up all this time later. Its biggest feature was a 32 megapixel APS-C sensor, a resolution unheard of for crop sensors until that point. The problem is that Canon released nothing for the mount that could actually resolve that much resolution. It all just turns blurry and you can see the glass imperfections. That is, except for this. This thing is remarkably sharp and you don't even have to stop it down to get that sharpness. Even wide open, lines are like a razor and there's minimal bloom in the highlights. In that regard, it's kind of like an L-series lens, having a clean, clinical look that prioritizes image quality above all else. With the 50mm full-frame equivalent focal length and a fast aperture, this lens is perfect for me. While most photographers prefer a 28 or 35mm equivalent for their prime, I've never enjoyed my photos quite that wide. With 50mm, your subject fills the frame better, and with that 1.4 aperture, they pop off of that frame, leaving a beautiful, clean bokeh that makes it ideal for portraits and street photography. However, while the optics are great, there's a reason this isn't an L-series lens. The autofocus motor is loud and slow, the body is built out of plastic, but it's also really compact and lightweight, taking advantage of just how small EFM cameras were. And while our F mount is great, it's a full-frame mount, and that necessitates a larger body. The only other company making an APS-C mirrorless system is Fujifilm and their X mount, and those cameras are highly sought after. And of course, we can't talk about EFM without mentioning the camera that started it all, the original M. This camera had a flagship sensor on a compact body, which means it shoots some really good pictures, but there's maybe 7 buttons on the body and a touchscreen. It handles more like a point and shoot than a serious camera. Of course, that didn't stop the community from seeing it from what it was, a snappy mirrorless camera with a large sensor and a fast processor. Magic Lantern brought out raw video capabilities that result in some very impressive footage. The EOS M and this lens represent together only a fraction of what could have been. If Canon had taken this system seriously, gotten it to market a year earlier with multiple options and lenses, there's a good chance Fujifilm would be feeling the burn, but that didn't happen. Luckily, there are other companies who did take the mount seriously. Speed boosters exist to adapt EF lenses to it, for example, and you can get even anamorphic lenses that mount right onto the body. And there's so much third-party glass out there for so cheap that you could build yourself quite a kit and never really seem to have to upgrade. It just goes to show that it's not about what the company thinks your technology should be able to do, but what you want to do with it. And EFM will largely go down in history as a mount defined by its users and not the platform itself. And maybe that's a good thing. But it's ultimately a missed opportunity in the grand scheme of things if you ask me. And by the way, you can check out the original soundtrack I composed for this video in the description below, along with that subscribe button. This is Everland Media, out.